Yes, there's our weather from the last 2 days. Ice and more ice. It really is enough to drive a person to drink. If there's one thing I don't like about winter, it's when we get ice storms. With weather like that, I just want to head back to summer. So why don't we do that? Let's take a journey back to summer. Well, it's July 13th at 9:30 in the morning, and we've just come up to the K&P Trail south of White Lake Road. Not sure if this is going to be a very long walk or not. They've got a tornado watch out right now, so I thought it'd be a good time to come out for a walk. Yeah, so I was hopeful that this big area of rain that came into southwestern Ontario last night was going to head over here and give us a good dump. However, most of it went northwest of Toronto or north of Toronto up along Georgian Bay and that area. Even north of here, north of Highway 7, I think got good amounts of rain, but as often is the case, we just got clipped by the tail end of it. So this morning we had about 2/10 of an inch. Now there's a following cold front that looks like it's over near Belleville, because there is an area of heavy showers there, just a thin line. But it looks like as it progresses this way, it'll get a little more developed and maybe active. That's why they've got the tornado watch out, I think. So I'll have to keep my eyes to the skies. I haven't walked down this trail recently because of the deer flies, and they're starting to show up already after just a few minutes of walking. But we'll have to watch how the storms go here, and this may not be a very long walk. So if that thin line of storms gets really active or starts to explode, it looks like it'll be in about an hour and a half or so. It's hard to judge, but that's what the future radar seems to show. So maybe by 11 o'clock. It's a little bit hard to predict these things sometimes. Sometimes they can explode very quickly. Other times they take their time and never really do anything. So we'll just have to watch the sky and the radar as long as I have contact with the radar. I still seem to have some cell signal here. Well, the deer flies are here in relatively small numbers so far. They're around and bugging you, but the wind helps to keep them away a little bit. I imagine the mosquitoes will probably get bad once we get up into the woods there, into the shade. Well, I'm rather surprised so far. In here in the woods, there's not many bugs either. Now, maybe it'll change as I go along, but so far so good. So that line of storms off to the west is lengthening down southward. I'll put an image here from the phone where I captured the radar. I'm gonna have to watch it. That thing could develop quite quickly. I guess one thing about the weather forecast right now anyhow is that there probably aren't too many people out on the trail. There was one other car up at the parking lot, but I'm not sure where they went, south or north. And I haven't seen anyone else yet, ATVs, cyclists, or walkers, so most people are probably staying away. And the bugs up here do tend to reduce the number of walkers for sure. Well, I just heard some deep thunder rumble off to the west here. I'll have to see if I can get a look off to the west up here. It's fairly treed all along here, but there might be an opening or two. It's that main area of storms that I showed on the radar. They're still a ways away, and they're moving mostly north, so they're not coming directly at me very quickly. It's more of a off-angle speed towards me, so I think they'll take a while to get here. But okay, we've been walking for about half an hour, and I think I'm going to head back now. The storms are still a ways away off to the west, but it looks like at that time they'll be closer to this area, so hopefully I'll get back before any major storms occur. I think I will. That was a nice tiger swallowtail butterfly. I've been seeing quite a few of those lately. The giant swallowtails have disappeared. They were common earlier in the summer, late spring, and now they've disappeared, but there'll probably be a new hatch of those before too long. Leaving the woods. Here's a look at the sky again, off to the west. Fairly thick clouds building in, but the main storms are further away, probably 40 kilometers or more away, over north of Napanee area. Unfortunately, I have to go to the dentist this afternoon. I think I've got another little cavity, so I always dread those visits because you know what's going to happen. Get out the old drills and start drilling away at your tooth. Ugh. I always think it's going to hit a nerve and just send a shockwave through my head. So I sit there in paralyzed fear for an hour or so while they're working away. I dread these visits. Well, the air does feel explosive in nature. It's very humid, quite gusty winds right now, and it just feels like one of those days when you could get some good storms blowing up. But as often they are unpredictable as to where exactly they're going to bubble up, or how intense they'll be, or will they just pass you by with nary a sound. Well, I definitely see a thunderstorm cell on the radar, which I'll show here, just off to the southwest, and I just heard some thunder rumbling over there too, so that's one little area that's got some thunderstorm activity still. As best I can tell though, that cell is north of Napanee, so we're probably talking 50-60 kilometers at least from here. And again, it's moving mostly in a northerly direction with a bit of easterly direction, so it's going to take a while to get here, and it will probably be the newly developing cells south of there that are shown on the future radar that may be ones that are more likely to impact us here if they develop. Getting a few louder bangs of thunder. See if I can get any on tape here. Guess not. The humidity really seems to be increasing. I can feel it on my back here now, and I'm just puddling along. And the thunder continues off to the west. Yeah, you can see that deep blue area on the horizon. That's the thunderstorm that's going by right now. It sounds fairly intense over there. Fair number of bolts of lightning striking the ground, it sounds like. Well, I'm back home and it's about 10 to 1 now. Had some lunch, and on our way home from the trail we actually ran into some rain, and it rained a little bit heavy when I got home, but then it stopped and actually got sunny. But now that final front is approaching. It's just like a few minutes away now, off to the west. It's a very narrow band still, so it'll only take a few minutes to go by. I've heard a bit of thunder rumbling off to the west, so that looks like it'll probably be it for today. Just maybe a quick downpour with this thing as it passes, and a bit of lightning, and that's about it. And the rain has come. Now she's raining. Now she's raining. Whoa. Wicked wind too. Like a mini derecho, I believe. Wow. Looks like 80 kilometer plus, maybe 100 kilometer an hour winds maybe. Really strong.